Good evening. I'd like to call the December 15th meeting of the Plan of Conservation Development Committee, and this is a public hearing to discuss the proposal. And I'll turn it over to our consultants actually at this point.
Yep, we have a legal notice of public hearing for Ellen to read in just for formality's sake, and then we'll kind of go through the plan and hear any comments. I have one that I can read into the record that we received via email over the weekend, and we'll go from there.
Legal notice of public hearing, Town of Clinton and the Town Hall Green Room. The Clinton, Connecticut Planning and Zoning Commission will hold a public hearing at the Andrews Memorial Town Hall, 54 East Main Street on December 15th, 2025 at 6 p.m. to review the updated plan of conservation and development for the Town of Clinton. At this hearing, interested persons may appear and be heard, and written communications will be received. A copy of the proposed updated plan and this notice is on file in the Clinton Land Use Office and the Town Clerk's Office. The plan is also posted on the town website. Dated in Clinton, Connecticut, this December 4th and 11th, 2025. Michael Rossi, Chair, Clinton Planning and Town of Clinton Planning and Zoning Commission, 54 East Main Street, Clinton, Connecticut, 06413.
Sure, I think so. I think the thank you everybody for being here, and then we are happy to see our audience members here. So this is a culmination of well over a year of work that this group has really worked tirelessly to hear from our residents, from our business owners, from our community, to create a plan that I think reflects the vision that Clinton has for itself. And I think there's been a lot of listening and really trying to get it right and to make sure that what we're putting into our plan reflects the goals, the policies, and the direction that folks want to see the town going over the next 10 years. We've received some very good feedback from the Lower Connecticut River Council of Governments. We have a unanimous endorsement from our town council. We had some comments from the Connecticut Department of Environment and Energy that we will go through with you a little bit and just kind of explain some of the proposed language changes from the draft that was published. And essentially, at the end of this, we just want to make sure that we have a last opportunity for anybody with any comments or concerns or suggestions to be able to have them heard, so that when the body meets to discuss potential adoption, that we've really done everything we need to do in terms of that public engagement piece. So this is sort of our last required public step on the way toward hopefully adoption, and we'll go from there. So what we thought we would do is have our consulting team, who has been fantastic in guiding us through this process, just give an overview of the document. So it's sort of out there for posterity for the general public. And then again, if there's any other comments or pieces that we want to go through, we can do that.
Thanks, Abby. David Murphy from Resilient Land and Water. This is
Victoria Vitri from Resilient Land and Water.
And as a reminder, our consulting team was Resilient Land and Water with MP Planning, who could not be here tonight, Mike Zuba and Pat Gallagher. They've been attending some of the meetings. You've met them through the process. And then RKG Consulting had a small role with economic development for this plan. So the three firms together have worked through this, working with Abby and with the commission. It's been a pleasure. I'm not going to go through the story map because I think everybody has seen it. We've showed it so many times, so many meetings, but I have it open. So if somebody has a question about the public planning process and the engagement and the survey, I can open that all up. It's on deck. But I think what we'll do instead is look at the document, which I have open right here. It's also on the screen. This is the draft that was referred to the public and to RiverCog and to keep on at your regular meeting of October of this year. So 65 days.
You guys want to sit over here? So you see? Yeah, just over here.
My apologies.
There's a lot about this.
The 65-day referral began at the regular meeting of October of this fall, and ended 65 days ended, I think, December 11th of last week. So we're a few days past that. This is the table of contents that was introduced and released to the public. What is plan of conservation development? The description of the planning process, a statement about how to use the plan. There's a chapter on the profile of Clinton today, which covers demographics and housing, economic trends, land use and zoning, community facilities, services and utilities, transportation and mobility, coastal resource management, natural resources, community sustainability, and then community resilience. Then after that, chapter on the profile of the town, which is pretty concise, it's about 20 pages. There's a vision for the next 10 years, a vision statement, which is 1 page, 3 paragraphs. The future land use plan, which is not the same as a zoning map. It's somewhat different. You don't use it for regulatory purposes, you use it for planning and for making decisions. So there's a narrative part of the future land use plan, the words, and there's a graphical part, which is a map of the town with the future land uses in different colors. And then there are 6 goal statements, which are reinforcing downtown Clinton as the community's civic and local business center, position Clinton for economic and grand list growth, promote Clinton's vibrant waterfront, diversify housing for all, support resilient infrastructure, etc. And finally, protect and enhance open space, natural resources, and historic areas. And within each of those goal statement chapters, there's a number of strategies, and under the strategies are individual actions. And so the actions are meant to be, there is a menu for implementing over the next 10 years. There's a section on implementation, which describes some of the ways that can be done and who would be responsible. We received comments from RiverCog and from Connecticut DEP. They both provided comments in a letter format. In addition, RiverCog provided a markup of the document with some sticky notes with editorial comments. So what we've done is we made some changes in response to those 2 sets of comments. Underneath the Clinton Today chapter, land use and zoning, we've added the description of what TOD is. That's in this text box in the lower left. TOD means the development of residential, commercial, and employment centers within 1/2 mile, etc. Many of you are familiar with this definition. It's the definition in state statute. So we've added that. That was RiverCog's suggestion. And then RiverCog provided some editorial comments, and we made those changes, grammar, spelling. They also had a comment about some of the census data. They had a different figure for one of the census figures. We did not change that because we wanted to be consistent with all of our census data being from the same year, from the same source. We didn't feel it was appropriate to pull in a different source for that. And it wouldn't have changed anything in the plan. From DEEP, we had comments about coastal zone management and resiliency and flooding. And most of the comments were word changes. And we actually, it was funny, we all read the comment letter and thought, wow, we really missed something. We went to the document and realized it was there, they just hadn't seen it. So out of respect for DEEP and the importance that the important role they play in coastal zone management, reviewing coastal site plan applications, we made the changes anyway. So we'll take a look at some of those. I'm rambling, so break in if you have a comment. Under future land use plan, you can see in the strike through, let me make this a little larger. We had a statement about hazard mitigation. They wanted to see something about minimizing hazards and risks to properties and residents. So we made that change. It was essentially the same thing. We had another change, I believe, under the coastal residential land use designation. And remember, this is a designation for existing, mostly single family houses that are near the coastal management district or in it. They wanted some more direct language about challenges relative to wastewater and resiliency. And again, they wanted, this is a common theme in their letter mentioning risks to life and property. We essentially had done that already, so
I was gonna say, that sounds very familiar.
Yeah, we did
What
that,
we had
yeah.
done.
So we added the words. We thought it didn't make sense to be obstinate when we can just make a change.
Mhm.
And then the other set of edits from DEEP, we had something, was it Victoria under waterfront development? The next one. For that goal statement. There wouldn't be. No, it might be with housing,
Going right to reduce the risk.
right?
Right.
There the words are again,
Sounds.
without placing additional property and people at risk to hazards. Then we took the opportunity, even though it was not a comment from anybody, but the housing bill passed this fall after the referral began and introduced this new concept to all of us, housing growth plan. We didn't want you to be out of date on day one, so we've added the words housing growth plan, which we said would be an alternative to an affordable housing plan. So that way, when the town decides to update affordable housing plan or turn it into a housing growth plan, you're covered. Again, this is new law from this fall.
Yep.
We added some words to, here we go again, hazardous to life and property. So anywhere Deep asked for this, we pretty much made the change. I do not believe that we have any other changes from Deep. So with that, I'll take questions and comments.
Questions from the public? Comments from the public?
Want to read it or?
Yep, so I do have one comment that was emailed to me over the weekend from Kristen Waterbury, and I figured I would just read it into the record for folks. So she says, I appreciate the work that's gone into the P O C D. Since drafting began, state housing law and development pressures have changed, creating additional loopholes at the state and development level. Updating the plan to use clearer, more definitive language around key environmental, infrastructure, and community considerations will help ensure the town can act with confidence and make defensible decisions going forward. That was the comment she asked to have written.
And I think what we just saw was another example that we highlighted that very action. Any other questions or comments?
So did you make all, I still see a lot of red, so everything's fixed with our last.
So,
meeting?
so the proposed language is in the plan, and David just gave you the summary of that. What would happen is if the commission were going to approve the plan tonight, you would approve the updated plan of conservation and development as amended.
Okay.
And then,
as a bit-
and then
all right,
we'll talk about it once the meeting, once the public hearing is closed,
Yep.
if you are gonna go in that direction,
Okay,
what a hearing, or what an effective date would be.
okay, and the new plan will have all the updates.
Correct.
We'll accept all those changes.
Thank you.
Quick question, that threat to life and property, that's kind of vague, like that really seems to take away. Put private property under state control for everything, because it doesn't. It's just so broad in its protection under threat to life and property, I mean.
But that's kind of what we're directed under 8-2 already, so it's really just,
Excuse me,
it's really redundant.
Mr. Chairman, that has, no, it has to do with you. Sure.
Right, but I
We
mean,
always,
But the life and property part,
That's-
really, if you
that's
read
what we
8-2,
protect.
which is what gives us our responsibilities as a planning and zoning
Yeah.
commission. That's
It's already in there.
8-2, that's in our charge to begin with. So
Okay.
it's really just a redundant
It
statement.
is redundant.
It's in your flood regulations in the state building code.
Yeah,
Right.
okay,
it doesn't shift any burden or,
Burden on us.
that's very standard language.
yeah.
Yep,
It's also important to note that it's targeted at specific areas, so those within the coastal flood area
Right.
and whatnot, so it's. Kind of, there's a contextual background as well, so yeah, just a.
Ellen?
This is just a point of order kind of thing. We haven't documented who's present here. Do we need to have that in the minutes to make this a
yeah,
legal public hearing?
You've got it covered.
she's all set.
Oh, okay, so you, without calling a roll, you have it documented?
Yes.
All right.
But the important too is that we have a quorum of the committee members.
Yep.
At this point.
We have,
Okay.
you're all here.
Before we close the public hearing, I'd like to take an opportunity to thank our consulting team and the staff and all the members of the Plan of Conservation and Development Committee. I think it's a testament to how well we all work together and all listen to each other's suggestions and ideas, that we move through this process so smoothly. And I've been through this before, and this has gone very, very smoothly and quite rapidly, actually. So I'd like to thank everybody involved very much. At this point, is there any,
I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
we have a motion,
I'll second it.
been seconded, any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Public hearing is closed at. What's it say there?
19.
6:19. Thank you.